In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can review a previous activity / exercise on your Suunto 7 watch. And not only are we going to look at it on the watch, we are going to go to the Suunto app and we're going to take a look at it on the app so we can see the map view. Now, when you do an activity on this watch, not all activities will use your GPS. It's basically predefined by Suunto. So certain activities like tennis, for example, would not turn on the GPS. But then there's other activities like walking that would. We're going to go look at one that actually has GPS on. So the way we're going to do that, there's a couple different ways, but the easiest way is if you always press the upper right button, it will always take you into the Suunto app. Hopefully you're going to be able to see this okay. Some of these other buttons you can customize. This one will always take you to your Suunto app. Now what we're going to do in here is we're going to simply swipe all the way to the bottom. Your previous activities will always be under your diary. And then under diary, you got a couple options. You've got exercises, daily activity, and sleep. In this case, we want to look at our previous exercises. Once you go in here, you're going to have a listing of all of your different activities that you've done. You'll see what I mentioned before. There's the tennis activity, here's a walking activity, and then here's a walking activity. You can click on any one of these and it will show you the details of that activity. The duration, the distance, pace, cadence, auto laps, manual laps, my heart rate, my time in heart rate zones, calories, the altitude, so on and so forth. The number of steps in the activity, it's one of the great things about the Suunto watch. Some of the other watches out there like Garmin, when you do a walking activity, it won't show that on, it'll show it on your overall steps for the day, but it doesn't show a breakdown of steps per the activity, which is nice that Suunto does that. If you want to go out and get a 10,000 step walk, you can do it in the activity. So on and so forth. When we get to the bottom of the list, we can basically close it or we can delete the activity. You'll notice one of the things you cannot see is the map for that activity. We would have to go to the app in order to see that, which is pretty common with other activity trackers. So I'm going to close this, and now let's get on the Suunto app and let's go take a look at this activity on the app. Okay, so as I mentioned, now I'm on my cell phone. We're going to go into the Suunto app and we're going to take a look at the activity. Now I'm using an Apple device. It shouldn't matter whether you're Apple or Android. This should be about the same for everybody. Once you go in, by default, your home page is going to kind of show you all of your recent activities. So you can see if I swipe down, the first one that comes into play is the walking activity that we just looked at. One of the annoying things about this app is you get a lot of pop-ups. So I close that, then I can see my other walking activity. Here's another pop-up ad. I can close that. Here's find your friends on Facebook. And then last but not least, here's that tennis activity that we saw in my activity listings on the watch. You can click on any one of these activities to see the details of it. And then once you're in here, it gives you kind of a visual of the map, but you can also hit the play button and you can see the actual activity play out on the map. You can pause at any point. You can change your layout. Do you want 2D or do you want 3D? You can change your map view. So for example, I have it on satellite. We can change it to outdoor, winter, heat map. And on any one of these, you can basically resume the play of the activity. I can click the bottom button. They'll basically show me the whole activity in a view. And then, you can zoom in, move around the map, do whatever you want to as far as viewing that activity. If I swipe up from the bottom, oops, I can see more details about the given activity. But I'll show you that here in a second. So that's a quick look at the map view. If we go back, you can see those details as we go down below. Again, we can see the duration, distance, speed, so on and so forth. Heart rate zones, the pace. Lots of other details down here at the bottom. The other thing that's kind of cool is things, for example, like the heart rate zone. If you want to see your actual heart rate zone during the activity, you can click View It on Map, and it will show you what your heart rate was doing at different points within the activity. You can also stop this and you can change it. So for example, if I didn't want to see the heart rate, maybe I was more interested in something like the altitude. Maybe I was doing a hike and I wanted to see what my altitude change was. You can change any of these values on your graph. So let's take a look at this. And instead, now the heart rate is the second column and then the first column is the altitude. So you can see I'm in an area that's pretty flat, but I did get a little bit of altitude change during the activity. And again, you can stop it at any point. We can move the map, so on and so forth. Very simple. Their app is actually pretty nice other than the pop-ups on it. I don't have any complaints with the app, but that's a quick way to look at our activities using our Suunto 7 and the Suunto app. I hope the video helps.